Jazz up inexpensive steak with this amazing crock pot steak tacos recipe. Hi, my name is Christina. I am with eatingonadime.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make our favorite super easy and delicious crock pot steak tacos. Today I am using flank steak for this recipe, but my favorite part about this easy crock pot recipe is that you can use any steak whatsoever. So my trick is to buy the least inexpensive or whatever is on sale. Actually today flank steak was the most inexpensive at my grocery store, but you can also use skirt steak, you can use sirloin steak. We've used Melanesa steak before and it's been amazing. The crock pot cooks it on low and makes the steak nice and tender. So do not use a fancy cut of steak for this recipe. Use the most affordable so that you can save money but still have a delicious dinner for your family. You will need a crock pot for today's recipe. I recommend using at least a 6-quart crock pot. Now an 8-quart will work fine, but a minimum you will need a 6-quart crock pot. I am using an Instant Pot Aurora today crock pot. Unfortunately, they don't make this anymore. It's a great crock pot. I do not know why they don't make this make and model anymore, but it's awesome. But we have tested a lot of other great crock pots that we have linked in our Amazon storefront, which I have linked in the description below. So make sure that you check that out if you're in the market for a new good crock pot. My sister and I love crock pot cooking and we've tested it all. So check out that list. All right, first we are gonna take your inexpensive cut of steak and put it in the bottom of a 6-quart crock pot at least. It's okay if it folds up on top of each other. You just want it in your crock pot in the bottom. I'm using flank steak, just put it right in the bottom of your slow cooker. And then we are going to get the best sauce ready, and that really is what elevates this recipe to the next level. Now it's time to make the sauce. You will need a mixing bowl for this sauce. Just a medium-sized bowl works great. We have linked these in our Amazon storefront. I love these because of the rubber bottom. It doesn't slide anywhere, and then the rubber handle makes it heat resistant as well. First, you need Chipotle Peppers in Adobe Sauce. Sorry, it's spelled adobo, but I believe it's pronounced Adobe Sauce. This is a 7-ounce can. You can find this at most local grocery stores. It adds so much flavor and it's great. We are going to use the whole can for this recipe. You want to open up the can and go ahead and dump it in the mixing bowl completely. You want all the sauce and all the peppers because it adds tons of flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these out. Perfect. And then you wanna grab each pepper. It comes with the peppers whole. And go ahead and dice those up and then throw it back into the sauce. That way you don't have big old chunks of peppers in your steak taco. It just really cooks down into the flavor of the sauce. We're just gonna dice it up and then dump it right back in. So you can also pull out a couple of peppers and dice them up all at once. They don't have to be perfect. It's really just so they cook down into the sauce and you don't have whole peppers into the sauce. Now, if you're worried about spice, these do add a little heat to the sauce. It's more of a smoky heat than a super fiery heat. So if you're nervous about it, just start with half of the can and go from there. You can always taste test it at the end and add more in if you would like. Now that the chipotles are all diced up and added to the bowl, we're going to add some onions. I am using a whole white onion for today's recipe. You can't have tacos without onions, in my opinion. You can use any type of onion that you like. I am going to slice them for this recipe. If you have people in your family that do not like onions or are sensitive to the texture of onion, you could use onion powder, or you could cut them big enough where they could pick it out so you still get all of the flavor cooked down into the recipe, But if the onion is cut into big enough slices, they can just pick it out of their serving and you can still enjoy that delicious onion flavor. So I like to cut it in half, and then I just cut it in slices from there. We have also linked our favorite kitchen knife in our Amazon storefront, which is linked in the description. We are big believers that you only need one good knife in your kitchen, and if you're only gonna buy one, this is it. So once we have rings, go ahead and separate the rings and add it to the mixing bowl with the Adobe sauce. I just take out the little center of the onion and then separate the rest right into the bowl. We are going to coat that onions in the sauce, and it's just gonna add even more flavor before we add it to the crock pot. Half is done, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do the other half. Sliced, and take the centers out and then add the rings. Now it's time to add some seasonings to our mixture. This also just really amps up the flavor. First, we're going to add some salt and pepper. It is a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. Then we're going to add some minced garlic. This is about 4 cloves completely minced garlic if you're using whole garlic, or if you use the jarred pre-minced garlic, this is about a tablespoon of minced garlic. We're going to add that right to the bowl as well. And 1 teaspoon ground cumin. And last but not least, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. This adds a ton of flavor, so don't skip the oregano. Stir to combine all the ingredients and to cover it all in that chipotle sauce from the can of Adobe peppers there. Then pour that mixture over the steak in your crock pot. That's all you need in the crock pot. It really is that easy. Once everything's added, make sure you add the lid to your crock pot, and it's best to cook this on low. You want that steak almost like a roast to cook slow and on low all day long, so that just shreds very easily with 2 forks, and it makes it the most tender thing ever, which is perfect for tacos. So I am going to cook this on low for 6 to 8 hours until it shreds easily. Every crock pot cooks differently. That's always our disclaimer, so get to know your crock pot. This one cooks a little bit hotter, so I'm gonna cook this on low for about 7 hours, and it should be just perfect. All right, it's started. I will see you soon. All right, so it's been cooking for about 7 hours on low, and let's go ahead and check it. So what you want to do is just get 2 forks and see if the beef shreds easily, and this is shredding perfectly. So it is done and ready to serve. If you want, you can shred it directly in your crock pot. Since my beef was kind of larger, I'm going to move it to a cutting board and shred it here, and you can see that it's just shredding perfectly. You want to shred it all and then stir it back into the sauce in the crock pot. Now, on the flank steak, since it's a longer piece of meat, it will shred with the grain, but I do run a large knife over it as well to cut it into more bite-sized pieces, just because it's going to shred into long, large pieces, which can get kind of clunky in a taco. So I just take that same great kitchen knife and just chop it around to make it more bite-sized and delicious. We're just gonna add that right back to the crock pot. You just wanna keep removing that beef and shredding it until it's all shredded and amazing. You can just see, you don't have to cut it. You can just use the 2 forks and it shreds. Beautiful. I cannot wait to eat this. And then I just take my long knife. To make it more bite-sized. All the beef is shredded and put back into the crock pot, and you just want to stir it back into the sauce so that when you serve it, you get all that delicious sauce. Now it's ready to serve. I love serving it on corn tortillas. White corn is my favorite. I just heated these in the microwave for about 60 seconds, and it makes it nice and pliable and easy to serve. Now I do want to say that I was reviewing everything before I serve it, and I did forget to add the lime juice into the sauce. So make sure when you're making these delicious crock pot steak tacos that you add a half a cup of fresh squeezed lime juice. I went ahead and stirred it into my sauce right now, so I still have all that flavor, but it is best to stir it in at the beginning so you get that all while your beef is cooking and it soaks up all that delicious flavor. My bad, I was just going too fast and I completely missed it, so sorry about that. Let's get these tacos ready. I am so hungry. Besides serving it on tortillas, you could serve this over steamed rice. That would be delicious, or on a salad as well. Just put some taco meat on there, some steak. I'm gonna drain off some of that excess. And then I am topping it today with cojita cheese. You can also use feta cheese or cheddar cheese, any type of cheese that you like. And some fresh cilantro, because I love fresh cilantro. And then I have extra limes, and I'm just gonna squeeze a little extra lime on top. But my favorite thing about this recipe is that you can make the steak and then do all the toppings, so everyone can just really make their tacos just the way they like. Ooh, I cannot wait. Before we dig in, let's talk about how to store it. You can store this leftover crock pot steak taco meat in an airtight container, and it should last for up to 5 days. The leftovers on this steak are very versatile. You can easily make burrito bowls, quesadillas, whatever you're craving, and it'll be awesome. So do not throw it out. It's leftover gold. It's so versatile as well. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me. I have linked today's recipe in the description below. Make sure you check that out. It has all of our tips and tricks as well as what to serve with, and all the nutritional information on this crock pot steak taco recipe. Thank you so much for joining me today in my own kitchen instead of my sister's kitchen, and I will see you guys next time on Eating on a Dime Live. Ooh, I cannot wait to try this. Bye, friends.